G'day all, Tex here from unitytradinggroup.com. I hope you're doing well. Coming to you from lockdown number 6 here in Melbourne, Australia. Here we are yet again, lockdown number 6. I'm sure you've been through it before yourself. So no matter where you are, you've undoubtedly been affected by this shitty virus. I do hope that you're keeping well, and I'm sending all my positive energy and love your way. All right, let's get into this. We're in a bullish market right now, whether it be short-term, mid-term, or long-term. And I wanted to brain dump some ideas of these 3 high probability trade setups that I see rife when the market is trending like this. And they're very, very easy to spot, very easy to remember, and often play out, as I'll show you 3 examples here. There's another 3 that aren't as high probability. If you request it, leave the comments in the comment section below, and I'll show you the other 3 that I trade quite often as well. But these 3 play out to a T. So I wanted to show you this, easy to remember. And we're going to start with this. We're going to start with W bottoms, or double bottoms, as I'm sure you've heard beforehand, but they form the shape of a W. And conversely, we get things called double tops, where we have M formations, where we hit top points of resistance, where we form the M shape. So the W is the very easy way to remember it. So I'll show you back here, and I'll show you a few examples, even dating back to 2020. There's even some from 2017 and 18 that I'm trying to find in my Discord that I'll share with you. Our free Discord, by the way, unitytradinggroup.com. Come on in, Ads and I, incredible community. We're happy to answer all the questions you might have about this particular video. So back on the 30th of July, and even before then, on the 26th of July, I said to our crew, I said, hey, the W's are back. We're seeing them more and more now in the market, which signifies obviously a double bottom formation playing out and a turn in the market. Things have turned. We were making lower highs, and we're now making confirmed higher highs, meaning that there are more buyers in this market than sellers. So you can see here with this particular formation, this W formation, what happens is that we end up getting to a point where there would often be a level of support or a level of demand where there's liquidity. There are buyers in the market. We're looking at the Ethereum 1-day chart here. And then you can see here, as we headed down, we tapped this area of liquidity once with this doji sort of style candle, which indicated that there were definitely a good amount of buys in this area. We hit this, whether you call this a triple bottom or a double bottom, I would more so call this a double bottom because of just how much cleaner this formation was. So you can see we came down, we tapped this area as well, down here at that 1700 level. We had this pin bar reversal where there were more buyers in the market than sellers. A beautiful bullish candle on this daily market. We came up, we hit this level of previous supply, and we formed this first level of, or second level, depending on how you want to call it, diagonal resistance. So we've come up, we've hit the first part of resistance, and we've receded back down towards this previous demand / liquidity zone, where again, there are buyers in the market. A beautiful bullish engulfing daily candle to really signify a lot of sellers and buyers in the market rather, and then a break through this resistance. So what you might often see is a break through and a retest of a particular level before continuation to the upside back towards this level of supply that was previously tapped. And that's what we had. And that forms your W formation. Now, then what you could also do is you could look for levels of, or further levels of confirmation by looking at something like our custom steamroller indicator, for example, which called the bottom, called the top, and called the bottom yet again. And then here we are now signifying that we are getting some sellers in the market. Or you could use things that are like free indicators, for example, MACD, RSI. We also have our own custom unicorn indicator, which gives us, it's essentially an MA cross, signifying a bullish MA cross and more moves to the upside. So, you can see that here playing out quite well. Again, even leading back to July 2020, where I was sharing my Atom BTC chart, where again, we see this level of resistance using Ichimoku here, and then this W formation. So you see that quite often. It's a really, really beautiful formation. I absolutely love that one. All right, formation number 2 is looking at flags. And if you go to our Discord, we do have some free resources, or on our website as well, which show you these rectangle and flag formations. So these are really good to have at your trading station where you see these playing out more often than not. And I will tell you that I see this particular formation a lot on theta. On this example, we're looking at it on NEO on the 4-hour. And I shared this with our guys yesterday, and I said, yo, NEO's making this formation. This is looking pretty likely at this point. So this was the chart that we had originally, where NEO was coming up to a previous level of support, resistance rather. And you can see that when we put on this parallel channel, we have these levels like what we did on FUSD rather, where we are getting levels of resistance. It's not always going to be exact, but we have these levels of resistance. We are making lower highs and lower lows, where we are finding levels of support and levels of resistance. We are ping-ponging in between this parallel channel. And then what happens is we've got these levels of resistance. If we go back, we can see previous levels of resistance where we have dumped. So we put our horizontal channel in there, and then we've had this first touch through resistance, but then we've not had the legs to continue higher. And as I said, we ping pong in between this parallel channel. And ultimately, the more times we hit the top of this, this diagonal channel, the weaker it becomes. Conversely, similarly rather, it does at the bottom too. But you can see once we've had a confirmed breakthrough here, we've retested this area and we're continuing up. My thoughts, we certainly are due for a cool off, but my thought is that we will continue up on NEO. Now, how do we look for take profit levels or overall target levels? I don't like the T word, but and again, this is pretty subjective, and you've got to think that there are multiple people in the market looking for these. So what you risk is these levels being front run. So I'll explain that in a moment. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking your flagpole and you are looking to multiply that level to here. And that ends up becoming your flagpole distance from the breakout. And then your first take profit level, you are looking for the distance between the top and the bottom of the parallel channel, which then becomes this level. So when I explain things being front run, what I mean is that if we have the distance of this flagpole and other people are looking at the distance of this flagpole as well, this level is something that a lot of people are going to be looking at. So the smart people might look to take profits a little bit lower to avoid this area being the major selling catalyst. We might not get to that particular level. So you're left holding a bag where we look for a rejection, where a lot of people are doing that. So what you might look to do is to look to take profits on the way up. You might do 25, 25, 25, 15, 25, whatever it is, and then continue to potentially hold if you think we might bust through this particular level. So that's using flags, which you can find over at our Discord, unitytradinggroup.com. But that's a pretty high probability setup that I see quite often on a lot of alts at the minute. All right, the next one I'm going to get into is AVE. So AVE USD, and the formation that I'm talking about is an ascending triangle formation. And I shared this with our crew back here at 3:37. And I said, hey, we're coming up to an important level of resistance here, which we were. You can see we've had a pretty significant level there. It's tapped again, had a little breakthrough with this pin bar reversal indicating a lot of sellers at this level. Again, tapped here, and ultimately breaking through up to that 399.88 level, which was the exact level that we spoke about being tapped if we were to break through this level. So I'll explain this to you. So the ascending triangle formation is just this. You can see it's almost like a W. Well, it pretty much is a W. But what we're doing here, instead of making double bottoms, we are making new higher lows, indicating that there are good levels of buyers at this particular level. And you can see we've had this beautiful bullish engulfing daily candle where we've established this trend. So we've now got the trend line confirmation because we've started down here. And then this was a reversal level after this previous rejection from this previous resistance level. So as I said to the crew, I said, there's only so many times that a door can be kicked before it's knocked down is kind of the analogy we might want to use if you remember that. And then if you're using things like Fibonacci, you can go to unitytradinggroup.com/Fibonacci or just type in Unity Trading Group Fibonacci, loads of videos, guides, resources, you name it, on our website and our YouTube. So as we approach this level, we were rejected and that becomes our high. So we're doing from swing low to swing high. and we're looking for levels of support. Now, this formation needs to play out in a bullish environment. If we've got low liquidity or we've got low levels of buy coming into this level, this might not often occur. You might find that we come back up, we keep testing these levels of resistance and support before breakthroughs. But considering the environment that we were in, I said to our guys, this was the likelihood of this playing out was pretty high. So we made this high. We found support on the 23, beautiful bullish engulfing daily candle, and yet another one again. And looking at the structure here to the left, I said there wasn't much holding this back from a bit of a slingshot up towards that 399.88 level. And that couldn't have played out any better. That was literally the exact top for this this particular move. And then if you go to the 4 hour, we again had another ascending triangle formation. So we've got a formation within a formation here, playing out on the daily, playing out on the 4 hourly as well. And then this is where you can use your indicators. Again, you can go to unitradinggroup.com, where our trading view profile, we've got this free divergence RSI indicator. We're above the 50 RSI tick bullish. We've got our MACD signifying a bit of a reversal from the bottom tick. And then we've got the establishment of a trend, and Steamroller is telling us that this is go time, tick, tick, tick. So for me, that would be a level of entry, which it certainly was. And then coming up to here, I was confident of holding this position based on the reaction that we'd had there previously and this bullish engulfing daily candle. So that's a very easy way to see these ascending triangle formations playing out in these bullish environments and saying, hey, this is something that I might have a go at. Now, I've got to say, I do not advocate buying at resistance. With any asset, buying at resistance is often foolish. However, and I'm not advocating you do this, but in particular instances like this strategy has saved me quite a bit. Where I found a coin making this structure and it's coming up to resistance, we've got a pretty nice bullish engulfing. What I might look to do is I might look to put a little bit of a buy here, and then I will dollar cost average, meaning that I will set buys lower because I'm confident of this formation playing out. So let's say, for example, you do $500 here, you might do $500 here. And what this does, rather than being your overall entry price at 336.61, it brings your entry price down, for example, to 320 or to 315. So your overall average entry price is now lower than what it was when you bought at resistance, and you've doubled your bag. So that's a high risk setup, because if that doesn't play out, then you're left bag holding and you can get stung. And then you've got to look for whether you dollar cost average further down towards this golden ratio and potential support level, or you cut your position at a loss. So again, for beginners, that's maybe not the best one, but certainly that risky tactic in these environments has saved me big time. So that's a pretty good little tip. I'm going to give you one bonus tip for coins that make parabolic moves, and it was on CVC, I'm quite sure. Yes, it was. So let me show you this. What you're going to find in these bullish environments is coins that have these spastic 4 hour, 1 day, 1 hour candles. And we know that there's quite a strong level of buying interest here, but we're thinking, hey, we've missed the bag, we've missed the boat. It's rejected from this level. Maybe there might be an opportunity to pick some up at a lower level based on the interest from this 4 hour candle. Well, how do we do that? Well, I've seen this play out so many times before. You draw your fibs from the start of this very bullish 4 hour candle. And then more often than not, your pickup zones will be here in this golden ratio area. Sometimes the 38, but more often than not, it's between the 50 and the 61, the golden ratio area. Now, if you had to set your buys at that particular level, again, this is high risk, you could have played this swing a number of times. So you're making 10% moves there on 4 hourly candles. And we've not really broken to the downside heavily enough to signify to me that there was going to be heavy levels of selling, especially if you look at the daily. And what do we see here? I did not even notice that. That looks exactly like, it looks exactly like Ethereum before it broke to the upside. So I've just found a coin that I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to, and I'm going to go back through and look at a few other metrics to see if we might have this playing out. So CVC, I'll go back to here, CVC USD. We've come down, we've made a double bottom pretty much formation, well, very close to. Actually looks a little bit more akin to what AVE was. So we've come back down, we've sort of made our W formation. We've busted through as we did. We've had this parabolic, very bullish 4-hour candle. We've missed the boat on everything else. And then we're looking to see for potential entries from here. Now, if you had to set your entry, depending on sort of what you're playing with, if you want to set it below that previous low, something like that. So 3%, and then you're looking for moves back to the upside, perhaps. That might be sort of a potential trade there for you. This is becoming a bit of a mess now, isn't it? Back up towards this previous high, 24%. You can even take it to where it's wicked to before in the past, the 23 even. That's a pretty solid little trade there based on entries from the 61 fib level. So that was just a little bonus one that I wanted to throw in. And then again, you could look at your free indicators, as I said beforehand, your MACD, your RSI. We're looking at movers above the 50 RSI, Steamroller, MACD, Gravy Train, Unicorn, giving us all the indicators, our MA crosses, the whole shebang, giving us confirmation there that CVC was looking pretty strong. So as a move to the upside, if we couldn't break this previous high, we might look towards previous levels of support where we can set entries based on what we've seen in the market here. So Fibonacci would be interesting to sort of see what's going on there. I'm going to start charting this again myself. Yeah, so the golden pocket zone, again, may be a level of interest to you depending on how we close this next daily. So I hope that helped you. There are more to come. If you would like to see it, please leave your comments and your likes in the comments section and let me know what more educational content you'd like to see from Ads and ourselves. But 3 high probability trade setups, they are my bread and butter and have served me very well in the past, and I hope they will serve you too as well. UnityTradingGroup.com. My name is Tex. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.